love unique, amazing quality things, but have you seen the price points? Hi guys, welcome back to another video. It is the month of November now, and so today we're going to talk about a subject that is very near and dear to my heart, the importance of shopping small, shopping local, and supporting the independent maker. A lot of you guys are aware that I own my own independent business, Nickichicki knitwear, and I've been doing that full time since 2013, and over that time I have gotten to meet so many other amazing, talented makers and hear their stories. So I would love to share some of that knowledge with you in the hopes that you will come away with a new perspective or learn something new. Now that Halloween is over, big box retailers are going to be screaming at you about Christmas shopping until the day of, right? And it's really easy to get caught up in all that, the sales, the deals, the glory. But before you get caught up in all that, try to just maybe take a tiny step back and extract yourself from all that noise and listen to some reasons as to why you should change up your shopping habits maybe just a tiny bit this year. So first off, let's talk about what's in it for you. When you shop handmade especially, you are going to be getting a few things right off the bat. One, amazing quality. Quality that is so good you didn't even know it was a possibility. My husband cooks for a living, and last year I bought him an apron from a handmade maker, and he was raving about it. He was telling me how it doesn't hurt his back and shoulders like many other aprons do. It was just perfect with its pockets that it had, and just all around better. Because as makers, we are thinking about these things. We are using top quality materials, and we want you to have the best experience that you can have. We care. 2, spectacular customer service. Why? Because these businesses are our babies and we want you to come back. So we are going to take care of you the best we can because we depend on you. And 3, you're going to be getting something unique that not a lot or possibly anyone else has. I don't know about you, but it is one of my favorite things when I am at an art show or what have you, and I walk past someone's booth and it's like, zing! I have an instant connection with an item that is in their booth. I know that I'm not going to find it anywhere else, and it is perfectly I feel like it's made for me. I love being able to express myself through what I'm wearing, how I decorate my home, and simply put, that would not be possible without a lot of these artists that are creating these unique pieces. I feel like it'd be a pretty boring world if there was only 3 stores to shop at and the styles were all the same and we all had to look the same and dress the same. No, it's not 1984. That's a book. So next, let's talk about the prices. Handmade items are, yes, going to cost more, and a lot of times you may be asking yourself why. You may be telling yourself you can't afford it. I get it, we're on a budget too, and I can't afford to shop 100% handmade either. So I guess on that end, I'd ask you to look into a few different things. 1, how many trips to Starbucks did you take last month? How many times did you go to Target in the last 6 months and just blindly spend money? And then how much of that stuff do you still love just as much? How much of the stuff has fallen apart, and how much of that stuff do you not even remember that you purchased in the first place? And I'm asking you these things because I've been there too. I've had the same kind of experiences, and I've had to kind of check myself about my shopping habits. When I was younger, someone once told me to buy the best quality that you can afford. And at the time, I kind of rejected that. I wanted to find the cheapest price point for an item that looked the most similar to what I wanted. And like many lessons in my life, I kind of had to learn this the hard way. There was something I wanted that cost a lot more, and I told myself I couldn't afford it. So I was going out and I was buying the knockoff thing, the cheaper thing, and it would last me for so long and it would break. So I would go out and buy it again, it would break, I would buy it again, to the point that I realized I had now just spent the same amount of money repurchasing this item that I could have bought one time had I just spent the money here. So I switched up my shopping habits a bit. If I can afford or save up for the thing here, if it's something that I really truly want, I will. And those are the pieces that are the most special to me, that last me year after year after year and still look amazing. So I guess I would just gently suggest to you to think, is there anything in your life that you can adjust? This year I've been really focusing on changing a lot of my own habits because I want to support independent more. I want to support handmade more because I know how important it is to my business. And so you guys have seen me doing a lot of thrifting. I've been buying my clothes very cheaply. For example, this is a thrifted sweater from Goodwill that originally still had tags still attached to it that I got for $8. My earrings, meanwhile, are from a handmade artist, and they were a higher price point, and it was something that I definitely had to think about rather than just automatically like just grabbing it, save up for a little bit, and they're very special to me and I love them so much. Big box retailers have also kind of gotten into our brains a little bit about what an item should cost. When we're constantly being offered, jeans for $10, it's very easy to think that that's what jeans should cost. But I think it's really important to kind of look behind that price point and think, okay, well, how are costs of things decided? Usually it is materials used. What kind of materials were used to make this item? If the jeans only cost so much, are they gonna last you? Probably not. They're probably gonna stretch out. They're not gonna fit nice after so many wears because they were used with the very lowest materials possible. And then secondly, someone had to make that item. So how much was that person paid? We hear and read stories on the news about people sewing help notes into clothing from big box retailers saying that they weren't paid for the item or that they need help. We've heard about buildings collapsing on people from people being forced to work in unsafe environments. And while I don't believe that we can personally fix all of that, it doesn't make me feel good at the end of the day to support. And let's get into my next point. Shopping handmade makes you feel good. When you shop handmade, you can be happy knowing that you are having an immediate impact on that person that you are choosing to support. When someone purchases something from Nickichicki, that money is going into buying more supplies so I can continue to run my business, paying my employees so that they can then support their own families, and supporting my own family. Normal everyday things like buying Christmas presents, putting new tires on my car. I've said before, we're not a one-income family. I depend on those sales to continue our livelihood, especially back in the early days where working an office job and having multiple kids in daycare was not an option for us. You're also helping your community and your world stay and become a more interesting place. Supporting that cool independent coffee shop around the street, going to the local clothing boutique that has picked and curated pieces that are perfectly your style that you can't find anywhere else, going out to a restaurant that is farm to table, having an amazing meal experience, and knowing that what you're putting in your body is good for you are all things that I personally would not want to live without. The hard fact of the matter is that window for failure for many businesses is much, much closer than it is for any big box retail store because we don't have the resources that many of these huge companies have. They depend on your sales to open the doors every day, to pay the electricity bill. They depend on your sales to be able to buy more supplies, to continue putting out things for sale. Now, maybe you're saying to me, Nicole, I already don't go to Starbucks and I can't afford to shop at Target either, so I definitely really cannot afford to shop handmade. I do recognize and understand that there are people in this position, and for that I would just say you don't have to physically buy things from the store to still be helpful and support them and help them out. It means a lot to so many of us when you are following and engaging on Instagram, when you're sharing the posts on Facebook, when you're telling your friends about this awesome business you know of, because that also helps us reach new customers and new people, as a lot of us do not have the advertising budget that the big retailers do. So maybe you can't buy that item right now, but there are still many other ways that you can cheer that person on, and I promise you they will appreciate it so much. The last piece that I would have to say to you is that makers support makers. So maybe you feel like by buying one item from a handmade shop that you're not actually making that much of an impact or doing that much, but we support each other because we know how important those dollars spent are. So when you shop at a local store, they in turn might use a portion of that money after they've paid all their bills to then support another handmade artist who then supports another handmade business, and so on and so forth. So maybe you're not spending the biggest amount, but you are definitely having the biggest impact. I hope that this video was helpful to you. I hope you learned some new things. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask them down below. I love hearing from you. If there is someone local or independent that you're choosing to shop for Christmas already, feel free to give them some love. Make sure you like the video if you liked it. It helps so much. Hit the bell if you'd like to be notified for the next time I post a new video, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!